Good morning from the trail. Good morning from 3,900 and some odd feet. And that's what happens when you decide to keep walking and maybe you'll find a good spot. And it's raining. I got my sack hung up there. I slept surprisingly well for everything being wet and no real camp spot. But I find that if I get in these soft leaves, it makes a nice, comfy place. So, about to pack up and go. I've been rolling along up here now for about an hour. And now I'm kind of going down a little bit and look at down in the misty clouds. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you. Nothing really spectacular about the trail. A lot of rocks. Rocky areas, not like this, like you're walking over rocks, so I'm being very careful up here on this very sparsely populated trail at the moment. So right, not even a few yards from where I camped on the side of the mountain. I mean, it wasn't far at all. I don't know distance, but 2 or 3 minutes, less than 5 minutes around the bend was a nice campsite. Oh well. That happens more often than you think. It's not one that's identified on gut hooks. So according to gut hooks, there are no unofficial campsites up here. And there's really not. If you're planning on coming up here, slim pickings. Because you see what you got there. It's very slopey. It's very rocky. It's supposed to be a thunderstorm last night, and I really didn't want to be up here with all the rocks, but it actually just rained. And then it stopped long enough for me to eat dinner and put my earth sack up in a tree and then just go back to bed. If it stormed, I never heard it because I was out. So one thing about sleeping on those soft leaves, I mean, even though I sleep on an air mattress, it just kind of conforms to your body. So it's not a natural, I don't know, it's just a nice sleep. But one should always use previously used campsites. Not good to go disturbing the environment like that, although I plucked the plants back up and tried to make everything as much like it was before I got there. Alright, well, I'm going to keep on going down in this misty clouded trail. You can see maybe a white blaze straight up ahead. Okay, here's what I mean by the rock. This is just like a miniature version. There were whole areas with rock slabs that you had to walk across, which is fine. But wet, algae-covered rocks, I have to be careful on. So just a little bit of maneuvering, you know. You don't want to take a wrong step. And then I'll show you something else. It's been a little tricky this trip. Well, probably not for most people because I don't want to fall. But this grass here is so overgrown that it'll grow over these rocks. And you'll be walking along and trip on a rock. So you just have to be kind of careful there. But yeah, just a little more. Okay, this section right here is not like the path where I could just walk back there. It's just like a park path. If you remember a couple days ago, I showed you some video. And it's just basically a trail in the woods. But here you gotta kind of step and pick your way through the rocks and on the slabs to make sure you don't fall. And then you got that. The grass just grabbed my shoe and tried to trip me. And so then we go back into more of the grassy area. And we'll have to say I've never seen the AT this overgrown. I mean, there's been many places up there that I was like, oh, am I still on the trail? I need to see a blaze. But, I mean, you can always see they use a very bright white through this section. So, See, there's one coming up right here. So you can spot it, but there are some places where you can't. So see how that rock's just kind of tucked down in there? And you think you're just walking along, so it does slow me down. Probably the average hiker, it would not. In case you don't know, I am 61 years old, and I've had a couple of injuries out here. And trust me when I say, getting hurt on the trail and having to get yourself off of a mountain is no fun. And it's happened to me twice, three times. And it's all due to carelessness. One was a broken foot. One was just going too many miles too fast. And I have arthritis in my knees. Not to be all melodramatic or anything, but I never gave my knees a rest. And they swelled up, and I fell, and I couldn't get back up. And that mountain, I went down on my butt. And then another one was a tendon issue that I suspect people from coming down that big steep trail at Port Clinton and then hiking 2 miles to Cabela's that evening in flip-flops. And the next day I was fine. Halfway through the day I started having pain in a tendon. By that night I could barely walk. It was terrible. It was storming. It was bad. And I was alone. It's always worse when you're alone. So I take getting hurt up here very seriously. And I don't just mindlessly plod along if I can keep from it. So that I can stay safe. Because I also realize there's some injuries that you might not just be able to scoot down the mountain on your butt. Or in the one case, I was 5 miles away from the trail. With a broken foot, I hiked 13 miles. The pain was so bad. Hurt so bad. And maybe it wasn't even broke. Maybe because I kept hiking it broke. I don't know. But there was a fall. A careless fall. Swelling. A road right there. But instead I went forward. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Right here. There you go. And areas where it just goes on. This is just a small area. Okay, well, I think I've showed you sufficiently what the trail is like up here. It is beautiful looking off to the sides, and look at down there in the misty woods. And the birds. A little hummer came to see me this morning. All right, I'm going to put my phone away so I can be safe. I just came from that way. I love hiking up here in the mist like this. But it sure dashes my hopes of getting up here to the shelter and drying things out. I see sunshine down in the valley. I don't know if you can tell through the trees there. But yeah, we've got up to do. But it's so pretty. I've seen this more times than I care to see. A fresh tree down, and they're split off like right. It's the second one I've seen today that's split off right there. Well, the other one was a tree, and it was a branch that big. Because I always try to look and see, okay, well, I'll put my tent here because the tree is leaning more the opposite way. But then you have these just big parts of the tree just come down. And they're fresh falls. And the time I've been out, I've seen some fresh falls out here across the trail. Let's see if I can get around it. Probably would have been better to go around it. But yeah, this was, so that is the one thing I watch out for, probably more now than I used to, is where I put my tent. But then sometimes there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason where they decide to fall. So there's that. Well, I've been climbing. I climbed into the mist, into the clouds. I climbed above the clouds, so now I'm in the sunshine. And I just can't imagine that there's any more climbing to do, because I believe it was just 1,000 feet. And I've been going for a little while. So I think I'm getting close to my destination, which means lunch. Chestnut Knob Shelter. I believe it's Chestnut Knob Shelter. It's an enclosed shelter, and it's right at the very tippy top. And it actually has a water source, which that is unusual for tippy top shelters. Well, where there's a steep trail you got to go down to get your water. Okay, well, I'm thinking any minute now. Any minute. Can't possibly go any further up. Right? Can't possibly go any further up. And just as I put my phone away, turned it off, waited for it to turn off, walked like 10 steps and said, "Oh, look, a meadow way up here. How cool is that?" And sunshine. And there's a shelter right there. This is a fully enclosed shelter, which is not a lot of those on the trail. So I won't be staying here tonight. But oh, what a beautiful place. This is exactly what I ordered to dry out. It's exactly what I ordered. Ordered sunshine, open. This is a trail over there, over here. Huh. There's a stick over there. Oh, how pretty. Oh, yes. I will take this for my hour-long midday break. Yes, indeedy. I'm loving it. Wonder if there's any views. Oh, there is. Let's go look at a view real quick. I was like, I think it's probably socked in, but oh no. Oh, forget the shelter. Maybe this is where we need to be, right here. This is lunch spot right here. Look at that. Yes, folks. And that right there's why I do this. Amazing. Oh, what a sweet place. Oh. You know, it has been a few days since I've had a really good view. I'll take it. I see a barn and a silo down there. Sometimes that's all you get for a view, which is about to take away the view there. But it'll pass. Okay, well, let's get a close look at the shelter, and then I'm going to spread out and do my thing. Beartown Wilderness, Jefferson National Forest, Chestnut Knob Shelter, elevation 4,409 feet. See if anybody's in here. Hope not. Oh, nice. Trust me, guys, when it's rainy and yucky, oh, this is like heaven right here. As basic as it is. Nice. Look at that mist blowing across here. That's so cool. It's a mist. It's not a cloud. I mean, it's not a smoke. Looks like smoke, but it's a cloud. That's so cool. Beautiful view. Beautiful. So every time I came over here to take a picture, the clouds would cover it. But there you go. Lunch is done. Everything's dried out. I got to get going. I've been here an hour and a half. That's way too long. But I had a nice chat with Right Turn, section hiker from Nashville, Tennessee. He is finishing up his hike. All right, on to my next stop. Next stop, water stop. Check out this little walk across the grassy bald, a grassy field. Wow, there's a hiker up there. That's an unusual sight. So I actually just met and stopped to two hikers. One's a section hiker. They're both section hikers, Flower and Ghost. So it's good to chat for a little bit in this land of not many hikers. But I just wanted to show some more of this beautiful, beautiful walk through here. It's just flippin' amazing. I love it when there's views. The past few days I've done a lot of work and I can see through the trees that there's some views out there, but I shouldn't say anything because there's some parts of the trail that you hike for days and you don't see anything through the trees, and it's just a lot of work. But you got to take the good with the bad, and even the bad on the AT is not bad. And just like that, we're back in the woods. That's quite a nice little out in the open walk up there. Very scenic. But now we're back into the dark woods. Now I wonder how many other little fairy things I missed. Because I saw one fairy house way in the middle of nowhere. And then here's a second little fairy village. Well, it makes me happy. Look at the detail. Little fairy door. Camp for tonight. We'll see how it does. It's already sprinkled a little bit. But I tried really hard to get my plastic, my polypro, I forget what it's called, right. So we'll see. But hopefully it won't rain. I'm okay with not knowing. Look, there's a trail down there. This is right by the trail. But I wanted to show you my dinner. Well, it's not my dinner, my pre-dinner. I'm having dessert first. That is cheesecake pudding. And all it is half a box of cheesecake pudding. And then I use some meadow, a couple spoons of that, and a cup of water. And I get to have dessert first. So I hope this rain holds off till I at least get my food made. There's a lot of flies around here. My odor-proof bags being odor-proof, all these flies on them. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my pudding now. I am wondering if these flies are trying to tell me something. I've never seen flies this bad on the trail. And I've been on the trail in July.